How's it going, people? Freddie here, and today is the first day of me documenting my journey as a digital ecosystems engineer. That's what I like to call it anyway. In layman's terms, basically what I do is I'm a marketing consultant for online business coaches. Not only that, but I build out sales teams, I build out marketing funnel scripts, everything like that, back-end systems. And basically, it is to help them scale their brands, even if they don't have a coaching offer or they're just starting out without much proof of concept. So yeah, I work with really small brands and I work with a couple really big brands on social media, and we basically turn their views and followers into money. So that's basically what I do, and what I like to call myself is a digital ecosystems engineer, to make me feel like I'm putting my computer science degree to good use. So yeah, basically just gonna be documenting my journey or days in the life of me running the inner workings of the business, going about life, and just kind of having this internal document for myself and then other people to look at when I inevitably get to my goals. So yeah, right now I've got 2 clients, and I just onboarded my 3rd client yesterday, last night. And yeah, so that's 3 done for you clients. I started this business I started, doing the done for you part about a year ago. Up until then, I've done a lot of freelance work for content management, appointment setting, some sales, some ads here and there. But yeah, this is like the first year of me properly going into it. There've been a lot of bumps on the way, a lot of setbacks during this year, a lot of stuff that happened, but we're in a pretty good spot right now. Clients are doing fairly well. And this new client that I brought on, I know for a fact they're going to do absolute numbers. Annette, if you're watching this, really, really well done for taking that first leap. But yeah, it's the morning right now, and yeah, I'm just going to have my breakfast. Alright, so we're taking it there with the breakfast right here, you know what I'm saying? We got sourdough bread, 2 slices. We got 4 eggs in here. We got some Gouda cheese. And we got some beef inside of here. You know what I'm saying? High protein. The sourdough bread's gonna provide a little bit of energy and carbs. And we got some homemade burger sauce. And we got our electrolytes here. Alright. Don't mind the messy background. We're doing some stuff in the back garden at home, but yeah. If I'm being completely honest, one of the best productivity hacks that I've personally found is just eating the same thing every day. Eating the same thing every day, wearing the same things every day, waking up and going to sleep around the same time, basically doing the same things every day. Because I feel like when, as human beings, when we get forced into a habit, all we know is to do that thing. And if you rewire your brain to do that around your goals and what you want to achieve, I feel like it's so much easier to do so. And the reason why I eat like this every day is because this is generally what I've found gives me the most clarity. The stuff here on its own, that gives me a lot of clarity. But if I add on the electrolytes here, it's a whole new level of productivity, because I just feel so hydrated. I feel like, my brain is just firing correctly. Before I was taking electrolytes, I was I wasn't dealing with chronic tiredness, but there were times where I was just tired and I feel like I shouldn't have been. But yeah, taking electrolytes, taking the right supplements, eating right, eating clean, it's really good for your productivity. And yeah, so the plan for today, I'm right now just making some plans for market research for one of my clients. We're rechanging or rejigging his target audience, so I need to use a lot of ChatGPT. As you can see here, you use ChatGPT a lot and all that stuff to make sure that we're targeting the right people. And yeah, long day today. Yeah, so I've got that market research stuff. Potentially going to be filming some content. Got a sales call today. What else? I've got contracts to sign for some team members in one of my clients' businesses. And yeah, that's pretty much it, apart from I guess the gym and just going on my my regular walk that I like to go on. So yeah, just gonna get on with that, and we'll catch up later. One little thought that came up in my brain as I was just working is I've realized how much of the online coaching or high ticket sales industry, how much of this industry is built on the top of people just making you feel like you don't know anything about what you do, making you second guess the strategy that you're using. How much of the industry is actually built up on that, right? And it's crazy because it's like you'll be doing something that's working well. Maybe it's not, getting you to where you want to go in, the next month, but these people online will try to convince you, or these people reaching out to you, or these people trying to get you on sales calls, they'll make you try and think like what you're doing isn't actually working. And I'm here to tell you, honestly, after investing a lot of money into different courses, coaches, consultants, if you're going to invest in someone, and I highly recommend investing in some kind of mentor or someone to keep you accountable or someone to keep you, your head switched on, right? I highly recommend that. But what I'm saying is, don't go for someone because you feel like their system is better than someone else's, right? Honestly, being in a lot of these coaching programs and these mentorships, the back-end systems are pretty much very similar across a lot of them, especially in the high ticket sales space and scaling coaching offers. The main thing you should look for is, do I resonate with the type of person this guy is or this girl is, and does the end goal that they preach about, is the end goal that they preach about on their content, in their funnel, whatever it is the end goal that they preach about something that actually aligns with what I want? Those are the only two things you have to look for, right? Because if those things are true and then they have, proof and everything like that to back up their claims, then honestly go with that person. But don't just go for someone because they just flex all the time about what results they've gotten or whatever the hell. That is everyone's got client results. Everyone has proof nowadays that what they do works. So that's not what you should base it off of. That's all I'm saying. So just finished my work for the morning. It's currently 1:45, and I'm about to go to the gym, get some leg day workouts in, a few squats, maybe a few lunges. I just did some basketball the day before, and I did some sprints the day before as well. So today's going to be a little bit of a lighter day for me in terms of the gym. So I'm going to fast forward to then and going on my way to the gym. Yo, can someone talk about how hot it is right now in the UK? I swear the UK is the most bipolar country in terms of weather. It's either just completely cold one day, or it's completely boiling the next. Well, when it comes to summer at least. So no, this is not it. I'm on the way to the gym right now, and the way the sun is hitting me, I'm kind of regretting not putting any sort of protection on my skin from the sun. Nah, this is different. The UK heat, bro. If you've never been to the UK during summertime, you don't even know about this heat, man. And I'm African. I've been to Cameroon, where I'm from. Africa's heat has nothing on UK heat. I'll just tell you that right now. So just came back from finishing my gym session, and honestly, I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't have much energy in the gym to lift and stuff like that. I don't know what's up with me today, but I just wasn't feeling it. I guess it's good that I still, went in and did what I needed to do in the gym, did my lifts, got those in. I didn't spend too much time. Like I said, it was going to be a light one today because, I was sprinting and then playing basketball yesterday, so I'm pretty tired. But it was a decent gym session, but, not as good as what I usually do. But now I'm going to go back home and I'm going to do some sales calls, or I have one sales call and I have another call with a member of my team for one of the offers that I'm working on. It's appointments there, so I'm going to be checking in with them, seeing how they're doing, and just basically finishing off from there. I think you're on mute. Yeah. Oh.
Uh,
Okay.
It's the first time I'm using the tablet for Zoom, so I had to set it up.
No problem. Well, how's your day been going so far?
It's been stressful, but it's okay. Because I think this time of the year is a bit challenging with covering people who are on holiday.
Yeah, true. What do you do? Like, do you manage a team?
I'm a chemist.
Sorry?
I'm a chemist.
Chemist. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, hopefully, this can give you a little bit more clarity in a stressful day. But I guess what it looks like, you're wanting more clarity around a pulled ligament that you had in November. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I guess just to set some expectations, my goal here isn't to sell anything to you today. I just want to understand where you're at, potentially challenge some beliefs that might be keeping you stuck, if there are any. Because to be clear, right, obviously I'm here to help you get to the best possible position to actually get to your goals. So in order to do that, I need to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And that might, in some places may feel a little bit uncomfortable, but essentially that's what we need to do to get you to where you want to go, if that makes sense. Let's say you were able to get rid of this shoulder pain and you were able to kind of live a little bit less uncomfortably. What would kind of change for you? Like, what would change for you physically, mentally, everything like that?
I think with health in general, it's the lack of it. When we don't have it, we realize how important it is,
Right,
and then once we get it back, you feel alright. So yeah, I think it will be kind of a relief.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I guess if we're looking at it from a place of you want that mental relief, what exactly have you? What do you feel like is the biggest thing that stopped you from getting there in the past?
I think it's just like life. There were things on track. Like we did a big trip. We had to arrange things. So yeah, I just didn't pay attention.
Okay.
I knew.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that because, like you said earlier, you're kind of looking, or what you expect to be the fix is to do a bunch of exercises or have some prescribed exercises from maybe a physio, right? But I think a lot of the time when we speak to people in your situation or similar situations, they say the same thing. They've tried physiotherapists, they've tried doing stuff on their own, and the reason why they're still in pain is because of the personal issues that may have stopped them in the past, right? So stuff like life getting in the way, stuff like all that stuff, right? I understand you're busy, all that stuff, life does get in the way, I'm not denying that at all. However, what we need to think about is what's the alternative, right? What's the alternative of fixing this issue? It's not fixing it. And what happens if we don't fix it? So ultimately, I understand it might be more easy said than done, but when we're looking at time and all that stuff, life getting in the way, how will we ever get to where we want to go, which is being pain-free, if we never make the time? Because ultimately that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah. I think for me it wasn't as much of a priority in the past, but I think at the point, like for this specific situation, I think I will keep the physio. I will put better timelines for myself. Like I will definitely not leave it for that long. I will say like in 2-3 months. And if I still have pain and if I'm still not as comfortable, I would look for a different solution, like you guys.
Alright. No, that's cool. So I guess in terms of like that, I feel like you would be in a good position. It's more of a case of fixing that that timeline and making sure that you have the right systems to stay consistent. The only thing with that is I don't want to kind of get you in a position where you feel like you have the systems when in reality we're just doing the same thing as we were doing before, right? And I'm not saying you're not capable of time management or anything like that, right? You're obviously more than capable, but I just want to kind of put into perspective that we can't really expect different results by doing the same thing as we were doing before, right?
Yeah.
So, like, with what you've done before, if you were to do it again, like, why do you feel like you wouldn't ultimately get the results that you actually want, which is obviously staying pain-free, not just temporarily but long-term?
Because I don't feel confident. I don't have the knowledge that an expert would have. I don't trust my body that can heal 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, checking your videos and stuff, I think that, maybe something different would help with that.
Yeah. And I guess, like, it's fair to say, like, you're fully committed to getting the right type of help, like, to not just solve the issues with your shoulder temporarily, but solve them for good, so you don't have to worry about continuously going to different appointments, right?
Yeah.
So I guess, like, the reason I ask is because, like, I kind of foreshadowed it before, but, like, what's the alternative? What happens if nothing changes? Because that's the other way we can look at it. Because ultimately, I personally think you don't have an issue with the exercises. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is mainly the psychological side. And it sounds like, a bit, wishy-washy. It sounds a bit basic, but really, like, a thing that I like to say is we don't really have, strength and mobility problems. We don't have pain and stiffness problems. We typically have personal problems that manifest into the way our body feels, right? So when you kind of look at, okay, what's the consequences? Or let's say you keep, dealing with this shoulder pain. You keep, dealing with discomfort when you're in the car and you're trying to reach for your bag. You keep dealing with discomfort when you're trying to sleep. And this stays the same, for a few months or a few years, even though you've tried physios, but the pain keeps coming back. And let's say that cycle continues. Like, what do you feel like the actual consequences would be with that in your own personal life?
Yeah, that will not be nice.
Yeah.
Psychologically, I think it will really affect them.
Yeah, and it's like an even better question to ask is, how much are you losing every day, physically, mentally, maybe even financially, by not overcoming, getting over time and other priorities, and continuing to live with the shoulder pain? Like, how much have you actually lost so far, mentally, physically, by, having this time and priorities get in the way, even though you have the right help, per se? Yeah, and I'm not saying like you don't go to the physio. I'm not saying that at all. Genuinely, I'm not. If the physio has worked for you in the past, for sure, like, try it out. But what I'm saying is, what's the reason why you're still dealing with these issues, and the reason why we're on the call right now is because because of what the physio hasn't given you. And it's not exercises, it's that accountability, the systems, the stuff that needs to be put in place in order to keep you consistent, right? Because yeah, they'll give you exercises, and they might be exercises that work for pretty much anyone and generalize to whatever person is dealing with that pain, but they fail to realize that, and it's obviously not their fault, but they don't realize that every single person has a different reality. Everyone else has a different circumstance, meaning that yes, they might see some results temporarily, but long term, like, that's what we're looking for, Exactly. So I guess, do you feel like you are committed to, like, actually getting the right help to get those systems, get that accountability that you need to actually make sure that you're not staying pain-free just, right now, but also for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years?
I think so.
Yeah. And I want to make sure that you're actually sure about that as well, because, I obviously don't want to kind of put you down something that isn't going to work for you or you feel like you wouldn't benefit from. So, like, do you genuinely believe that, you getting that accountability, you getting the systems to actually stay consistent even when it gets tough? Like, do you feel like that's something you actually need?
I think it would help, because it's easy to say, I'll do these exercises every day.
Yeah.
And then you end up doing them, like, I don't know, twice a week or 3 times a week.
No, that is true. Another thing that I wanted to say about that call was, in sales, sometimes, like, prospects will actually give you every reason not to care about them. Because like she was giving me every excuse in the book why she wasn't actually where she wanted to be. It was time, it was, you know, trying different things. Nothing about herself, right? You know, kind of talking about everything else but herself as the reason why she's in the situation that she's in. And that's obviously not entirely her fault. Like ultimately we are taught to think as humans about everything other than ourselves, because our brains are wired to keep us comfortable, and thinking about self-accountability and holding ourselves accountable all the time, that is quite an uncomfortable thing to do, right? So I don't blame her for doing it. It's just a case of like, if you're in a position where you want to change your life or you want to change your situation, you have to look at yourself as the person, or maybe even the reason why you're still stuck, right? Even if it's not you, even if it's not entirely you, right? Nothing is going to serve you more than holding yourself to that standard when it comes to changing your situation. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. And yeah, I think in sales, like during that call, I was so close to kind of just DQing her and disqualifying her, send her over to like a free resource or something. But I like, something in me told me like, I can't just let her off the hook, man. Because like, if I just tell her, oh yeah, we have this free course full of movement exercises that you can use, she's not going to be solving the issue. The issue was her lack of systems to stay consistent despite being in all these different time warps and like priority battles where she's having to prioritize this thing over that thing. So yeah, I think I made the right call. I booked it in for Monday, which is kind of scary because, you know, usually what I find is any calls I booked anywhere between, you know, anywhere over like 3 days in advance, that I booked that soon, they usually don't go through. So yeah, that's kind of what I was scared about. But yeah, it's booked now, so good. And yeah, hopefully she closes. I feel like she can actually get over the line. She's pretty warm. So I thought I'll just go on a little walk just to end off the video. I like to go on walks, you know, just to clear my head and stuff. But yeah, I just want to kind of make this more of a tradition, if anything, to end my videos or my vlogs with me just sitting and talking about some things that are on my mind. And I guess like, for me, a big thing that's been on my mind is staying in a mind state where you are convicted that you're going to get the results that you want. You know, sometimes it's so hard to have true confidence in the fact that you're going to get to where you're going to go, right? You know, you're doing all these things every single day to get to a certain goal. Maybe things aren't working for you and you think, okay, this stuff's not working. Then you try something else, that's not working. But you fail to realize that the whole key of the game was to just stay in long enough. Whoever wins in the game is whoever stays in the game long enough. So yeah, I think that's something that's been on my mind recently. Just not putting too much importance into being into perfection, and just making sure that I'm doing all the inputs and all the stuff that I necessarily, you know, need to do, the stuff that I need to do every day, making sure I'm putting in the right inputs, and kind of detaching myself or not attaching myself as much to the outcome, because I know if I keep putting in the inputs, the outputs are going to come out that I want. So yeah, that's kind of been on my mind recently. I guess another thing is just how bad I feel for people, like for the average person nowadays. And I say this like as sincerely as possible. The average person is genuinely cooked, like in terms of mindset, I would say, because I would say in terms of getting what you want out of this world, it's very largely a mental game. I think the mentality that the average person has nowadays is fucking terrible. and it's not going to get them to where they want to go in life ultimately. Like, I feel like we've got such like a coping culture with people saying like, oh no, I don't want to be too successful. You know, I was on a sales call the other day with a really talented business coach, career coach, and she was talking about, you know, talking in ways where she wasn't bigging herself up as much as she should. She wasn't giving herself enough credit for the progress that she could make with her business, right? Obviously not having the right systems, you know, it was at play there by her not having the results that she wants right now. But she really needed to just let go of the current version of herself that's telling her that she's not good enough, right? Let go of the imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome has to be one of the biggest killers of talent and potential that I've ever seen. People nowadays are just told, I feel like it's a UK thing as well. I feel like this is a really big UK thing, where people are told, oh, don't be too cocky, stay humble, don't feel like you're bigger than anyone else, like, and then it just breeds like a whole culture of imposter syndrome, and people feeling like they're not as good or as talented as they really are. I think it's really sad that we live in an age where, in order for you to really have the confidence to do what you want to do and to be different, you practically need to disassociate yourself with the culture that you've pretty much been taught to associate with your entire life. I just think that's really sad. But hey, I'm not gonna lie, man, if you're the type of person that's just skeptical of stuff, like for no reason whatsoever, I've got one question, which is why are you like this? Like, genuinely, like I'm not even coming for the people that just say no to things, because honestly you can get more good from saying no to things than saying yes to things. But I'm talking about the people that are just on the fence all the time about everything, bro. Like, you'll tell them or you'll talk to them about this certain opportunity, they'll be like, oh, I'll think about it, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm like, bro, just say yes or no. I'm like, you feel like the people that do this, like they feel like they're being productive, right? They think they're being productive by just going away and thinking about things. But at the end of the day, you're just delaying progress. You're delaying progress in whatever direction you want to go to, right? Saying yes is progress in a certain direction. Saying no is also progress in a direction. But if you're on the fucking fence, then you're not going in any direction. You're just there, you know? So I don't really understand people that are just skeptical of things, like, for no reason. You know, if you don't like something, don't do it. If you like something, do it. You know? You're not gonna die because you tried something or you took a risk. Come on, man. Some people need to grow the fuck up. Yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it for me in terms of my yapping for now. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments, but yeah, that's all for me.